So you remember how last week the drink I made with the absinthe rinsed glass was better with like a whole splash of absinthe? This is Sazerac. Named after a brandy. Now they make them with rye. But I use rye and brandy. So there. And I put a splash of absinthe in here. And guess what? It is better. So stop with that spray in the inside of your glass and just put some in there. Brandy, rye whiskey, two kinds of bitters, Peychaud's and Angostura, both. Welcome to the Late Night Picture Show. I'm your host, Murph the Clown. Welcome back. We got a special kind of a 70s vampire double feature tonight. Some might say lesbian vampires, but I told you we'll talk about that in our first feature, The Velvet Vampire. She's waiting to love you. Can I show you that? Look at that font. It's a really cool font, but it's kind of hard to read. She's waiting to love you to death. Climax after climax of terror and desire. Yeah, they're really trying to make this sound like a porno. Where the living changes places with the dead. Okay, now we're back to a horror film. In Metrocolor, rated R. The Velvet Vampire, starring Michael Blodgett, Sherry Miles, and Celeste Yarnall. I might need to look that up. Sounds familiar, but I don't know from where. See, that never happens in the movie. Spoiler alert. I don't know who made that poster, but yeah, that's not even close. I guess it's a nice poster, though. We're going to the desert in this one. But I'm staying in New Orleans right here. The Velvet Vampire, 1971, New World Pictures. New World Pictures was a big thing in the 70s. Maybe into the 80s. Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up too. Directed by Stephanie Rothman. And we already went over who's in it. A young couple meet an intriguing brunette woman at an art exhibition, and she invites them to her desert hideaway. And I wrote here that it's not in Palm Springs. I think they even said that. But it's way removed. Susie is a little jealous. Yeah, she's kind of suspicious. But equally curious. So she and Lee head out to the desert for a fun weekend getaway. And I wrote in parentheses here, a 3-hour tour. Well, 3 days. They break down. Yeah, they kind of get stuck at a garage with like a shady ass mechanic. Now the mechanic won't give them the time of day. And the pump guy isn't much better. Diane, the brunette, rescues them in dramatic fashion in none other than Speed Buggy. All right, not the cartoon, but you remember those little dune buggies that you used to have? I think they were actually like a Volkswagen chassis and engine, and you put the dune buggy kit on it. Yeah, she comes jumping off this dune. Right there to the gas station to pick them up. They'll go back to her villa, and I know I have seen this house in another movie. But for the life of me, I've been racking my brain for weeks now since I saw this movie. I can't place where that house. I know I've seen it. Another movie was filmed there. Well, they go back to her villa where she lays it pretty thick on Lee. And old Lee, being the sleazeball that he is, well, he doesn't put up much resistance. Even kind of right in front of Susie. Well, Lee and Susie head off to bed in the guest room. I might mention there's kind of an odd housekeeper. I didn't write this, but there was an odd housekeeper. To be this dude, I can't remember his name, but he seemed to be like her son, but he was a little bit too old to be her son. Maybe adopted son. But anyway, Susie, while they're in bed, has this dream that the bed, and I think it's actually Diane's bed, is out in the middle of the desert, just out there, and Diane is wrapping her scarf around Lee and leading him away. Ah, the symbolism. So the next day they wake up and Diane's nowhere to be found. The housekeeper, just have fun. So they take she comes back and she takes them sightseeing in Speed Buggy. And they're in like this, they pull into this abandoned kind of town, like a ghost town, maybe a movie set. It looked like a Western movie set. And Lee and Diane go exploring in the building while Susie, despite this dream last night, decides to work on her tan. So she throws out a towel in the middle of the street, dirt road, by the side of the car, and starts working on her tan. While Lee and Diane are getting hot and heavy in the hotel lobby, abandoned hotel lobby. Uh-oh, there's a rattler. Crawls right up to Susie. Right on her belly. Kind of like the tarantula. Did we talk about a tarantula last week before? It all blends together. Monkey's making noise over here like it's his time. Dude, settle down. It's not your cue yet. So Susie screams. Lee and Diane are interrupted from their makeout session, run outside to see what's wrong with Susie. Throw the snake off. But they're too late, it bit her. not to worry. Diane, who's well versed in the ways of the desert, or that's a good excuse anyway, sucks all the blood out. But just how much blood does Diane suck? Not all of it right now. You'll see how much blood Diane sucks. There's kind of an Old West cemetery right by her place. But how old are the bodies? Kind of like the Old West cemetery out there by the Clown Motel. Charlie and I never did make it to the Clown Motel. Maybe this summer. Okay. A dramatic one I wrote here. With an effective electronic score. Made even more effective because I had the closed captioning on. Charlie was playing his game on his phone. And yeah, he's kind of loud. So I turn on the closed captioning so that I don't miss anything. Yeah, I'll post on my Instagram what I live tweeted during this show. It was nothing about the show. It was all about the score. Lee is a likable 70s sleazeball. That probably doesn't add up nowadays, but in the 70s there were likable sleazeballs. And Susie is the perfect victim. She's the damsel in distress, the helpless little blonde Missy. All is overwhelmed with ludicrous dialogue, but the suspense is there. And I really did, by the end, I really did want to see where this was going. I wanted to know what was going to happen with Lee and Susie. Is Diane going to get them? Is there ever going to be any lesbian vampire action? It was billed that way. Not on the poster, but yeah, swinging, swingers, whatever. I give this one 4. 4 rings for the Velvet Vampire. Now, we're probably going to need another Sazerac. Because that's tasty. It's a little warm down here tonight. And that iced drink is just right. Okay, I'll be back with part 2 of our vampire double feature. And next time you won't be disappointed.